am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we have Tasha K violating Loren LoRosa and saying she can't hold her own without Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy sitting by her. And she says everyone in the internet or on the internet owes Just Hilarious an apology because content-wise her podcast is trash. Let's listen.
Said, you know, W2, she's been with TMZ, then Power 105, so she's had some momentum out here. She's supposed to be a journalist. She's supposed to know what she's doing. She's supposed to know how to talk to people and engage people. And so to see that she even signed to a dude that's signed to a nigga that's signed to another nigga, I can understand why she doesn't even have a full-on studio to do the podcast, because it's hard when the money is a little funny. You know what I'm saying? Because Charlamagne is giving pennies and he's supposed to be giving dollars, and you can tell in this production. So when she came out, her first episode did 79,000 views because it was right off of the, the Just Hilarious, just momentum. Right. And it was like these two girls, they're very talented. And then Jess was kind of being seen as equal as Loren. Right. And it was like, oh, wow, because all of this background, she worked for TMZ, she worked for this, she worked for that. She can read better. And, Jess is an entertainer. She's a performer. That's something totally different. And so, and this is what her podcast is lacking. And I'm going to show you the receipts here in just a second. And so, to make a long story short, she does this whole grand thing, and even talks about on Carlos King's show the other day. Jasmine, do we have that with Loren LoRosa with Carlos King?
Shout out to I was King, leaving and Breakfast Club opening up. It all happened because I bullied my way into getting a guest hosting position. Like they didn't know me. I had never met or worked with Charlamagne, Envy, Angela Yee. I didn't know the EP who was booking Eddie F, who was booking everybody for the guest hosting. They didn't know me from a can of paint. They might have seen the girl from TMZ, but I was on my best bully. I wasn't even thinking about it like the job was going to be mine. To be honest with you, I watched the show. I was a fan of the show, every interview, every whatever, because of what I do. So I watched it and I could tell from the natural progression of the guest host and how much Jess was there. I'm like, oh, the job is basically hers. They just haven't announced it yet.
How did you get the opportunity to even have the day?
So what I started to do was being resourceful. I was reaching out to anybody I knew who had ever walked inside of the Breakfast Club.
She was spirit channeling. She was spirit harvesting. That's why she was telling Jess on air, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. She didn't know anybody. And so she started putting her pictures on the wall and harvesting energy and putting herself in that situation and watching the show and envisioning herself there. So basically she just did a personal vision board where she masturbated to all their pictures and stuff. And now she has a job that I feel that she's great for with them. But go ahead, Jasmine, finish.
From the natural progression of the guest host and how much Jess was there. I'm like, oh, the job is basically hers. They just haven't announced it yet.
How did you get the opportunity to even have the day?
So what I started to do was being resourceful. I was reaching out to anybody I knew who had ever walked inside of the Breakfast Club. I was sending them my resume and my reel, send this to them. So I mean publicists, managers, artists, homies of theirs, anybody. And what's so crazy is the day that Angela Yee announced that she was leaving, it was trending. There's an interview she did for TMZ right outside the station. I cold called her and booked that. Yo, we need an interview with you on your way out. And jokingly, I was just I was asking her, because I was trying to get the story. I'm like, well, what's next? What's about to happen? What are they looking for? Does it have to be a celebrity? You don't even have to know a name, but just give me a criteria what they're looking for, because that alone is a story right now. Mm-hmm. She's like, yo, they don't know what they're looking for. And I'm like, and I'm joking. I'm like, oh, they're going to take a shot on little brown girl on her grind. And she don't know what they're looking for. Shoot your shot. And I was like, for real? I'm not a celebrity. And she was like, it doesn't matter. They don't know what they're looking for right now. And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't know her. I didn't know if that was true. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. So I just did that, and it had gotten back to me a couple times. People would send me screenshots of their responses, yo, we keep getting her resumes and her reels. Tell her hit Eddie, blah, blah. And I'm like, who is Eddie? So my manager did some digging with some radio contacts that she had, and we got in contact with Eddie F, who's the EP. Mm-hmm. And I flew in town. My mom had a doctor's appointment, so I flew in town. And I told my manager, if we don't figure out a meeting, I'm going to that studio. I'm just gonna sit there until Eddie F walks downstairs. And she was like, no, don't do that. I'm going to figure it out. I was like, figure it out or not, I'm doing it. So I'm just telling you, she figured it out.
I know that's right, Lauren.
Okay. And so what you saw there, guys, if there's anything that you ever want in life, just use all of your energy, all of your being to make it happen. If you don't have any experience, it will still happen for you. And sometimes before your time. And use it to do on things that maybe you're not experienced for, and watch, it's going to happen. And so she understands spirit harvesting and all that stuff, and just good job on that. She should have explained it that way, but I get it. A lot of people, I'm like, oh, it's witchery, whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. So this whole fuss was being made.
All right, I'm gonna push back here because from what it sounds like to me, she just used all the resources that she had around them to find a way to get in the building, and that's what she did. I don't see a problem with that. And Loren does have experience, whether it be with TMZ or in other fields. So I do feel Tasha K is being a bit condescending here, but let's keep listening.
And when the episode came out, the first episode, it was an hour, on her podcast. It got a lot of views, about 80,000. It was off of Just Hilarious's noise. And then the second episode came out. Receipts are here because y'all are calling me a hater, but are her viewers haters? I just want to, put that out because y'all always saying I'm hating, but then her audience is not supporting. Okay. And so when you go to her channel, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to get it to you yourself. So her first episode came out 6 days ago, which was 80,000. 4 days ago. No. 4 days ago, 27-minute episode on iHeart, 9,000. Okay. Episode yesterday, 2 episodes yesterday, 3,000, and another episode today, yesterday as well, 2,000. Now, I've never in my life seen numbers crash. This is like worse than the stock market. This is hype. And then once all the smoke goes away and you see it, this is what you get. Go, Jasmine.
Look, I'm going to throw Loren some more bell here. Because I get it, we be view watching, and you got niggas out here view buying. It's just a lot of nasty work going on. And while, yes, it did peak because of the interest of her having her own channel and doing a show and seeing what this show was going to be, the viewership didn't stay the same because she's not on the same platform. I'm sure if it was getting posted to the Breakfast Club, she wouldn't be doing 2,000 or 9,000. I'm sure if those videos were getting posted to the Breakfast Club YouTube channel, she'd be doing well over at least 20 to 30K averaging, because it's just a way bigger platform, and that's where most of the people that probably want to hear or listen to her go to hear and listen to her. They don't probably know about her channel. Like, they promoted it, but did they truly promote it? Not really. They just said, hey, she's doing this new podcast, go check it out. And people showed up for the first episode. Now, the retention might look a bit trash, but she has to put in the work at this point. Like, okay, the inaugural episode, of course. Once somebody goes and does something on their own, if Just Hilarious left the Breakfast Club and did a podcast like right afterwards, first episode, over 300,000, 400,000 views. After that, it's probably going to drop off. Because at that point, now you have to use the clout that you have to build the platform that you're trying to build. And I'm not mad at Loren LoRosa for doing that. And Tasha K should know something about that, seeing the fact that she built the platform that she did. Let's continue to listen.
Hey, y'all. This is the latest with Loren LoRosa. I am Loren LoRosa. This is episode 4. So let's get on into some things. We taking y'all to court. We doing a little court. You know what I mean? If there's a dun dun, Taylor, put that on in here. I need that. Okay, it's giving litigation right now. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was Drake. You guys know that Drake has been going back and forth with Universal Music Group over the song Not Like Us, even though he's positioning it and claiming that it's not specifically about the song, that it's more so about the fact that his label did not protect him and that they allowed another artist on the label, speaking of Kendrick Lamar, to drop Not Like Us, which Drake and team say is a very defamatory song. It's dangerous. And there's no way that this should have been supported. So now he is suing, okay? The lawsuit, there's been a lot of back and forth, but more recently, the Universal Music Group side of things said, you know what, Judge? This all is BS. Drake he doesn't honestly think that we did half of the stuff that he is claiming. He's claiming that they work with bots to make Not Like Us a bigger song than it was. He's claiming that they, paid third-party bloggers to talk about it, that they paid radio, like just a ton of different things, right? That he has claimed over some time. He's claiming everything but the song is a bop. And baby, the song is a bop. Okay, he's claiming everything but what the truth is. So in doing that, his ask was in this. I want to make sure. I hope I didn't say file suit. If I said that, that is not what I meant. And I think that it gets tricky there. And a lot of people, when in reporting it or talking about it, say it wrong. Because I think we're so used to like, okay, you hear defamation and then boom, it's a lawsuit. When for real, what Drake did was a smart business play. He filed a motion basically asking to be able to discover, like to look inside of Universal.
We should let Loren host for us. What you think? We should keep it going. Let Loren host for us. Let her be a guest seat in the show during the show. Yeah. Jazzy Faye. Productions on my nizzle. What do you think, Winos? Do you think we should call Loren over?
You want the Winos to click off the video, or you want to keep them around, keep them entertained?
I thought they said I was hating. Play it some more. Finish playing the video. Let them listen, please. Finish playing the video.
To music groups, all of their internal things, and figure out if what he thinks is happening is really happening, or at least enough to get enough evidence to then go back to a judge and say, hey, here's what we have, and now we're moving forward with a lawsuit. A lot of times in defamation, people will tell you, like, defamation is one of the hardest things to prove, because not only do you have to prove that the person in their intent was defamatory and that they meant to harm you, to make it where you can't get money, to make it where you can be harmed by what they're saying or what they're throwing on you, but also, too, you have to really be able to prove loss. Like really be able to prove it. You really have to be able to prove this. So a lot of times people go right in with the lawsuit. And normally that's because they have the evidence. They understand, where they're standing legally and what they're going to lean in on. And what Drake did was, he's like, okay, here's what I think is happening. Here's my long laundry list of things that I think is happening. But I want to go in I want to poke around a little bit, because I need to figure out, like, if I'm shooting, who's my target? I thought that was actually pretty smart. I also thought that this was smart too, because if I'm Drake, and the conversation around this was that Drake, was negotiating, renegotiating with the label and trying to do all these things. If I'm doing that and I feel like my label isn't, giving me full transparency on some stuff, the best way to get transparency about the stuff that I want, but also about me and how impactful I am at this label.
No, don't be trying to call for the police. No, y'all, don't be trying to call for the police. This is who y'all wanted to take just spot. Now, it sounds good when she with other people. You know how you playing double dutch when there's a conversation? It sounds good, but when it's by itself and all the smoke is clear and it's just you. I was very, very disappointed in Loren LoRosa's performance. I really thought I was coming over there to get some brown girl business. Not for real. They trying to, when you file a lawsuit, you really got to prove, like they took money from you for real. And it felt like I was listening to my ex-assistant do a show. I am very disappointed, and I know she worked her ass off to get to that point, but I'm here to tell you, Loren, from one black woman to another, somebody that's older than you, baby girl, you have got to step up your performance. That's why Jess has that seat. That's why she will remain in that seat, because she has a performance attribute. So I don't know if you need to take some acting classes or what, but the 6 o'clock morning news is never giving anymore. You have got to come with some passion. It sounds like an extended topic. What's the name of her segment on the Breakfast Club, Jasmine? What's the name of it?
I don't think she has a segment. But I'm sure it's the latest with Loren LoRosa.
The latest with Loren LoRosa. It sounds like an extended version of the latest with Loren LoRosa with all them for real, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not giving us anything that we haven't heard. Or no, we know what defamation is about. We know what it consists of. Baby girl, what are your thoughts? So if you're going to have a podcast is a conversation piece where you actually give your thoughts and opinions on stuff and not just read. She's holding her phone, reading news word by word. What do y'all think? You know, like playing with her hair. Baby girl, get in some acting classes. I'm not saying you ain't got it. You just ain't got it right now. You ain't got it right now. So y'all all need to go on over there to Just Hilarious page and apologize to her, because this is just wrong.
I would like to respectfully disagree with Tasha K here. I just think Loren LoRosa is doing what she's known to do, like what she does best. Just Hilarious does what she does best. Does she do it well? Not really. You know, Tasha K's talking like Just Hilarious be on the Breakfast Club, being, you know, funny, and she has jokes here and there. You know, she can be entertaining every once in a while, but it's not like she's just over there killing it every fucking morning. Like, no, that's why they had somebody like Loren LoRosa added there and join her, because it needed some substance. She provided no substance to the Breakfast Club. Loren LoRosa provides that substance. Now, I do agree with you, you know, it doesn't feel like Loren on her podcast is giving us her opinion necessarily, and more like she's just breaking down the topics in the news of the things that are happening and what her sources have been telling her and what she's been learning. Now, that does come off very newscasty, but at the same time, you know, that's just her shtick. That's what she does. And I'm sure if she continues to do it, continues to work on it, continues to grow in it, at a certain point, she'll find her audience will find her, and hopefully she'll be killing it, because I do like Loren LoRosa. I think she does have personality. I do think Tasha K is being a hater here for sure. Her chat was calling her a hater. They are right. You're being a hater, Tasha K, but it's okay. You're a notorious hater. You're one of the greatest haters of all time, if some might say so. You know, you're just doing what you do best, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. But I just will like to say, yeah, it comes off a bit haterish here, and I don't know. I mean, it sounds like her and Just Hilarious might be friends or close. I don't know, because she was definitely telling niggas to go apologize to Jess. Look, nobody is apologizing to Jess. Everybody was just saying, and that's where I was coming to the point with this as well. I'm starting to think that shit was contrived and fake to roll out her podcast, because if they really did have animosity, if they really truly had a problem with each other, well, Jess more so with Loren than Loren with Jess. But if Jess really didn't like her, or didn't like the fact that she was there and could take her spot, then she would be, you know, a bit more perturbed about it. You know, it wouldn't just get fixed in a day or two, and then we move on, and then her podcast is announced. It does look a little nasty now. Now we're making music videos about it. We're doing skits about it. Charlamagne is joking around like it's just funny to make fun of the fact that, you know, they probably did sneak this woman in here to take this other chick's job. Like, that's not right. That's pretty shiesty, if you ask me, in my opinion. So that's why I come down to the conclusion that it might have been fake. Might have. Just to get some controversy going. So her first episode could have 80,000 viewers, which it worked. Sure did. It worked. But anyways, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Tasha K is being a hater here, or does she have a right to say what she's saying about Loren LoRosa? Do you think Loren LoRosa can stand on her own? Can she do her own thing? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I'm Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Shout out the hoes hoeing, the pimps pimping, the thoughts thoughting, the tricks tricking, the savages being savages, the savvies savvying. Peace.